How to treat male depression. So when it comes to depression in males, two components that they're very, very sensitive to is the core belief that the world is hopeless and they are helpless. So obviously, because of the conditioning that men tend to have in our society, the feeling of helplessness is much more negative than maybe it would be to a female. Men are individuals who really need agency. They need to feel like they can make an effect in the world. And so if they're in an environment that's making them feel hopeless and helpless, then depression is essentially inevitable. And so you have to understand that hopeless and helpless are perceptions. So the brain essentially runs perceptions based on all of the information that we take in. And so we've analyzed a ton of information and we've decided it's hopeless and I'm helpless. Essentially saying that I don't have agency in this situation and this situation is so bad that there's nothing I can do. And the first step to curing male depression is to change these two core beliefs, to change these two perceptions. And essentially you have to understand that the mind isn't objective. It's taking information and it's making it run through a filter and it's deciding helpless and hopeless. If you can change that perception, if you can try to look for clues that your environment and you are not hopeless and helpless, and if you can just work on that, look for one sign that it's not hopeless and helpless every day, then you can start shifting that perspective. And then you'll get closer and closer to feeling better. And you'll get closer and closer as well to finding different ways to get out of the situation. It's essentially like a synergistic effect. It's an upward spiral. So every day, just try to challenge this perception. Because remember, your mind is a filter. The situation isn't necessarily hopeless and helpless, but you've interpreted it as that way. It's almost like a computer. You put a bunch of information in it, and it gave you the output, hopeless and helpless. But let's try to start putting information in it that's telling it like, look, it's not completely hopeless and helpless. I saw this one clue. I saw this one piece of evidence that indicated that it's not hopeless and helpless. And so that's the key, is to start looking, gathering evidence. And it's going to be hard in the beginning, but gathering evidence that it's not hopeless. It's you do have agency and there is hope. Even if it's little, even if it's like the tiniest thing, even if you can only see like one form of autonomy or agency you do have in this world, you have to focus your mind on that. And depression often is an issue of focus. We're focusing on the information that's telling us that it's hopeless and helpless. And we need to shift our focus into focusing on the information that's telling us there is hope. We do have agency. And that's the everyday single practice. And I know for a lot of you, it kind of helps to think of it almost like doing reps in the gym. Like you have to get those reps in of gathering information that the world is hope and you have agency. And once you get a lot of those reps in, you'll get that upward spiral and things will get better.